If you've been desperately trying to get your club's low point target side of the ball for better strikes, I've got a different, better way of coaching this for you. I'm going to get you to think about having your low point behind the golf ball and then actually through impact doing everything you can to try and miss the ground. I am going to have to explain this, but this is going to transform your ball striking. I'm going to get you to do what the best players in the world are doing. So if I held the golf club like this, perfectly vertical, and just made some movements that were like this club head has got a low point. Okay, this movement is an arc and there is a low point to it. So when we look at where that low point is, we can say it's probably around about here where my finger is. If we look at the other end of the golf club, so the top of the grip, the low point of the grip is in exactly the same place. It's here. So the club head's low point and the grip's low point are the same. Now, I don't know about you, but the last time I watched someone playing golf, the golf club didn't move like this. It moved in a very different way. So in the golf swing, we have the golf club moving in a very different fashion. So if I do this sort of movement, where is the low point of the club head? Well, it's sort of in here somewhere. Where is the low point of the grip? It's somewhere else. So in a golf swing, the low point of the club head is almost always in a different place relative to the grip. The grip's low point is different. In great golf swings, the grip is at its lowest behind the golf ball. I'm going to teach you that, and I'm going to teach you why, after that, missing the ground is so key and beneficial to your golf. So I'm just going to take a tee, I'm just going to pop it into the grip of the club, just makes it a little bit more visible. So when I take a setup, I'm just going to mark the top of the grip. I'm just going to put a line across that. Now, when we look at great players, as they get into delivery position, so when the club is around about here, level with the ground, in almost all cases, the grip is lower here than it was at setup. Now, it's not a foot, it's not 10 inches, it's a small amount, but it is there. When we have a fixed camera and we look at it, we can see that. And what that really does is allows them to do so many great things after that. When you look at your golf swing, when you look at your playing partner's golf swings, and just the, I guess, average golfer's swing, we don't see that. What we often see is the golfer standing up, maybe they're pushing away from the ground, but they are often getting taller in the early part of the golf swing. They are often also releasing the club too early, and when they get down to this delivery position, the grip is higher. Now, it doesn't take an expert to work out that if I take a setup here with a grip at a certain height, and as I come into my impact, the grip is higher, I'm going to have a really difficult time making good contact. Because what I'm going to have to start to do is to try and push the golf club down to reach the golf ball. And when we have that subconsciously in our mind that we've got to do that, it affects everything. It affects speed, and it really affects what your body does. So it wouldn't be uncommon to see an amateur golfer make a decent backswing, get a little bit taller, struggle to get the grip low enough, and then from here they have a through swing and a follow through which is a bit more like this. Now, I've made that exaggerated, but the strike was poor. I topped it. Look at my body shape. It just felt horrible. Now, what's interesting on that swing is I didn't intentionally make a poor follow through. I didn't intentionally make a poor movement into the golf ball. I simply put myself in a position that was less than ideal and tried to do whatever I needed to do to strike the golf ball. And because the game we play is based on a little bit of hand-eye coordination, I see where the ball is, I sense where the club is, and I have to do whatever I can to make it, well, to strike the golf ball. And you can see I made a terrible effort at it. It was a poor strike. So what are the great players doing, and why are they having the grip lower pre-impact? Well, think about what you ideally want to have happen through impact. What are we doing? The lead shoulder is going where as we go through impact? Up and away from the golf ball. What is therefore my hand doing through impact? It's moving up and away from the golf ball. Therefore, what is the grip doing through impact? It's moving up and away from the golf ball. So if as I strike the golf ball, the grip is moving up, by definition, it must have been lower at some point. If it's not lower, it's not going to make sense to pivot, because that's going to pull the grip even further from the ground. So whenever you get the club too high, you stall rotation. Your body is not going to allow you to pivot out the way like this because it's going to make everything worse. So you stall your rotation, you push your hands down, the body shape is terrible. What great players do is they get the grip lower and then they have the magic move through impact. So here's what I'd love you to do. Reference the top of your grip. If you did this in front of a mirror, fantastic. If not, you can maybe use an alignment stick or just reference the top of the grip. Get to the top of your backswing, and here's the key part. Use your hips, and you're going to shift and you're going to lower by a small amount. We're not talking a foot, we're talking a small amount. And bring the grip of the club into a position which is lower than it was at setup. This is the key thing I want you to think about. The low point of your golf swing, in terms of the grip, is behind the golf ball. It has to be. And I'd love you to practice this. So for exercise 1 is just this. Can I organise my body and make movements which allow me to get the grip of the club lower to the ground? I've got pressure through the left side. My lead shoulder has stayed nice and low. My lead hip has stayed nice and low. Those are traits of great players. These are traits of poor players. High, high, high. So once I'm in that position, here, grip is low. If I stall rotation, where's the club going to hit the ground? Way back here, because I've got the grip lower to the ground. Okay, so if I do nothing, what type of contact am I going to get in the ground? Very heavy, very steep, not ideal. So what do great players do through impact? They are desperately trying to miss the ground by what they do with their body. So their bodies, through impact, are really saying, I don't want to hit the ground here. I'm going to use my rotation and I'm going to straighten my legs, I'm going to extend my hips, I'm going to get extended and rotate to try and pull the club away from the ground. We know, because we're able to measure it, the force that a golfer is putting on the golf club through impact is up towards them. It is not down towards the ground. Yes, that is where the club head is going, but look where the grip can be going. Up. The club head can be going down as the grip is going up. This is the key move that will massively improve your ball striking. Now, because of what I did pre-impact, the weight left, the grip low, everything, my attack angle will be negative. The club will be traveling down, but I am desperately trying to pull up and away from the ground. And I know this sounds like there are lots of movements that you're trying to coordinate and you're probably thinking it's difficult to time, but it's a difficult game. We have to accept that this is the best way to play it. It takes a bit of practice, it takes a bit of coordination, it takes a bit of timing, but this can transform into ball striking. So let me just hit a really short shot and I'll show you how I'd like to do this little exercise. So we go down, then we rehearse this push, up, and through. Strike was perfect. Really compressed, really at the centre. You can tell that I hit the ground because I've got some mud on my club, but at no point in that swing was I trying to send the club head down. The club head went down after the ball and created a negative attack angle because of everything I did before it. Let me go ahead and do one as a little drill again. Really low. I can exaggerate it if I want. No reason why I can't in practice. Look where the club would hit the ground. And then I pull up and get there. Still got my low point target side of the ball, but I'm pulling away from the ground.